causes of leg pain in that disease. Remember, we are dealing with cholesterol. So for those who are joining us, we are in the cholesterol season. In the 4th episode, you said, right?
Yes. Cholesterol season.
Cholesterol season. So we have been treating cholesterol, and last week we did cholesterol. This week we are continuing with what else is up with cholesterol. Last week we were going to review last week's show in a minute, but for today we're going to talk about causes of that leg pain due to cholesterol, or a disease called PAD for short. And then after that, we're also going to talk about the risk factors of PAD. And then we're also going to, I think that may be just enough, but if not, we will have, if we have more time, we're going to add to it how to prevent peripheral artery disease, which is the PAD, the leg pain. We call it leg pain, but we're going to differentiate what kind of leg pain we are talking about, because this leg pain is something something that's got to do with cholesterol. All right, we want anything else? All right, so with that out of the way, let's review last week's show. And I'm going to defer to you to start while I tweak
I
something
think
here.
last week we talked about how plaques are formed in the artery. So we defined what artery is, and I think we dealt more with coronary artery. So we said that artery is just the blood vessels that carry blood from the heart to the cells. So I think we don't want to be technical. We have veins and arteries, but we are dwelling more on the arteries. So just in simple terms, it's just the blood vessels that carry blood all over the body. And we mentioned that it can be formed, plaques can be formed in these arteries. And another term that we used last week was it's like a pipe, tube that run around your body. So plaques are formed in these arteries due to high cholesterol. As we started, we talked about cholesterol being important in making up cell memories and brain memories and the hormones and all that. But if the levels are high, particularly the LDL, right, the low density lipoproteins, if they are high in the system, it's going to cause plaques. And I think we went into detail about how plaques are formed. So I think you want more information, you can go back to last week video and review what we discussed.
All right, my goodness, my goodness. That is what's up. I don't think I should add anything except to say that we're saying that cholesterol plaques are the leading processes for heart disease and stroke. I don't know if you mentioned.
No, I did not.
Okay, so we said, I think that's probably on our next
next
slide.
one,
Let me see. Go back to live. Okay, so we said that apart from forming plaques, plaques lead to heart attacks. You know, plaque formation, the cholesterol that is formed in your arteries, once they become unstable, and perchance by high blood pressure, or even by, Gifty articulated nicely that the substances that make up the plaques are themselves, they don't mix well. You have calcium, you have fat, you have other proteins, you have cytokines, white blood cells, and they're all coming down together in your artery to form a plaque. So they don't mix well. The fact that they don't mix well don't make them stable by themselves. And then also, if you have your pressure goes up, whether all the time or one time you are scared and it goes up, all it takes is just a pressure moving over it, the plaque, and something breaking off. Then clots will form. And once the clot is formed, it can block the flow of blood to your heart muscles. Whether it forms right there or it forms and it breaks and travels to another place. If it forms there on your heart, your coronary arteries or your heart arteries, that's what we call heart attack. And then we said that similarly, if it forms wherever, maybe in your cerebral arteries or in your carotid artery, and it breaks off and it goes to your cerebral arteries, and it clogs a tiny vessel which is supplying the blood to your brain, any region of your brain that is blocked, then a stroke, what we call ischemic stroke, happens. So we actually delved deeper into this. We don't want to go back to the details. So please, after this show, if you missed that, if you're watching from Facebook, just scroll back to our own videos and you see it. If you're watching from YouTube, even better, because it's easy to find it there too. And then educate yourself on how these things happen. We are going in a process. We are telling you how cholesterol is bad, and not just how they are bad, but what they do to make it bad. So we've already learned about the heart attack issue, why young people are going too soon, and we say gone too soon, and a stroke is heart attack. We have explained what is happening, and today we are explaining what is happening again with cholesterol. And then after we finish with the other things of what cholesterol is doing, the negative things, then we will start talking about how to get that cholesterol out of your life, how to get the bad cholesterol out of your way so that you won't see these things. And so that's where we are with our video from last week. But as we said, it will be better to go back and watch later after this one. I'm going to build on what we did today. So that is it for last week. So if you have not shared still after all this while, come on, man, do us a just give us a thumbs up, like some people have already done. I've seen the thumbs up. Give it a share, like, subscribe to our channel, or follow if you're on Facebook. Hit the follow button if you are not following us already. And you on Facebook, you can also make us stars by just giving us stars. If you give us stars, Facebook will give us some money. That's all that is. They say that, oh man, people like you so much, they give you stars. So it means that you like us. So I don't know. I think I'm the only one who likes the show because I've given myself stars. But I know that people are watching, and like yesterday, a family member said, I've been watching your shows and I know everything you're talking about, cholesterol, and I like it and stuff. I'm like, you don't say anything on it. You just watch it. You don't stay quiet. So follow, give stars, and like, and go to that website, buy something from our merch store, and support us in any way possible. So with that out of the way, can we proceed for today? All right. So what we have today, we're starting off with causes of leg pain by cholesterol. And I don't know if you want me to see.
Yes.
All right. So basically, what we are discussing today, as we said, is cholesterol causing another disease. Last week, we talked about cholesterol causing or leading to strokes and heart attacks. Today, we are talking about cholesterol leading to what we call leg pain. Leg pain. But before we proceed, I don't want you to say that I quote me anywhere and say that those guys, Dr. Tin's channel, they say that anytime you have pain in your leg, you get your cholesterol is high, your bad cholesterol, your LDLs. No, not all pain in the leg are from high cholesterol. So we want to see these are the differential diagnosis. In other words, these are the other things that can cause leg pain. But we want you to know these first so that we will talk about the kind of leg pain that we call the peripheral artery disease, which is the one we're actually talking about. So some other forms of leg pain could be.
Okay, so the first one, you may have arthritis.
You may have arthritis.
More like at the joints of your leg, and you have severe pain. That could be arthritis and not high cholesterol. Or when there is a trauma, like you hit your leg, you twist it, you do something to your leg and you have leg pain, that is a different kind of leg pain. That's not what we are talking about. And also, I think the last one is clots. If you have clots in the leg, like the deep vein thrombosis, right?
DVT, right?
DVT. Yeah. So if there is something like your leg is swollen at a point and you have formed clots, that is a different kind of leg pain.
That's a different kind of leg pain. So those are three differential diagnoses. I'm pretty sure there are other things that cause leg pain. But the trauma, for example, you exercise and your leg is hurting you, it doesn't mean you have high cholesterol. So this kind of pain that we are calling PAD, peripheral artery disease leg pain, is different from what she explained. Arthritis, trauma pain, and DVT or clot pain, which is a little related to this one. But if it's clot and you are getting pain and swelling, that's different. That is a whole new, different ball game Of course, it could have come about as a result of cholesterol causing plaques and causing the clot, like we have explained. But this is just a disease by itself that is caused by what we call high cholesterol deposits, and that is what we call leg pain due to PAD for short. You can see all that, which is peripheral artery or artery disease. PAD, that's the pain in the leg due to PAD. That's what we are talking about, and that is by cholesterol. By the way, just a hint, there's another form of disease that cholesterol causes, which we call erectile dysfunction. We're also going to talk about that. My goodness. We're going to talk about that. Maybe next week we're going to do that. So cholesterol causes a huge stack of problems. We started with the most common ones that we all know, heart attack and strokes. We're going to talk about peripheral artery disease, pain in your leg, and hopefully next week we'll talk about erectile dysfunction. Also, same idea, cholesterol leading to that. So cholesterol is not a good guy, except you have the good cholesterol, which is HDL, right? But LDL is always not what you want. All right.
High
Yes, except for high LDL. Again, if you watch the shows, you know why she is placing emphasis. So go back and watch the other show, and you understand why she says high, because LDL can be good if it's in a good amount. All right, so that is the differential diagnosis of what we are talking about. So then, what is what we are talking about?
Okay. And if you are paying attention, I think you can also see another artery here. Last time we talked about coronary artery, and we also mentioned carotid carotid artery, and now we are talking about the peripheral artery. So like it's not the main one. Peripheral is like the surface, the other kinds of artery in the body. So it's more like the leg parts, the artery in the legs. That's where we are dwelling much more on. Apart from the heart and the brain, it can also occur in your legs and your arms.
In your arms too, yes, yeah. Definitely. For some people, it happens in the arms, but most commonly, it is in the legs. All right, so PAD stands for Peripheral Artery Disease. And so going forward then, what causes this disease? What causes this disease? And we'll go on to say that when your blood flow is reduced, basically what happens is when you have cholesterol deposits, again, going back to what we discussed last week, right? Cholesterol plaques that has formed as a result of accumulation of cholesterol, high cholesterol, the injury in your arteries, in the lining of your arteries, leading to infiltration of cholesterol particles and then blood vessels and all the good stuff we discussed, right? When cholesterol has accumulated, I think it's a good time to show this video as we speak. When cholesterol has accumulated in your body, it has to find a place to land. And the places they land, because they are flowing through the bloodstream, flowing in the arteries, they are flowing through your pipes, they have to find places to deposit. And so what we are showing you now is cholesterol depositing the yellow substances that you can see over there. It's depositing that, and that deposit is what is going to cause a problem. And the problem is that it is going to narrow your artery. It's going to narrow your peripheral artery. So you see that for this image that we are seeing, the blood vessel is bulging out because of cholesterol accumulation. Now, this is actually not doing justice to it because it's going to push in. Like, this is actually better picture. This is right in the middle of the way, as we can see right now. Right in the middle of the artery, you see that the yellow substance, which is the cholesterol plaques, have built up so much that now it's going to block the flow of blood into your muscle cells in your legs or your arms. And when that, if you again referring back to what we said last in our last show, when the flow of blood to your muscle cells become decreased, the muscle cells begin to suffer. because they need energy, they need the food, they need the oxygen that the blood is carrying to be able to contract and relax. That is when you are exercising, when you are moving, and all those good stuff. So if your muscles cannot receive adequate blood supply because cholesterol, this yellow substance, is blocking the blood flow from reaching it, then we got a problem. My goodness. We got a problem. And that is what actually causes the pain in the legs, because your leg muscles need the supply of oxygen. But bad old, I won't say good old cholesterol. My goodness. But bad old cholesterol, our bad enemy cholesterol, high LDL, is hampering the flow of blood to your muscle cells. And so your muscle cells cannot do any work. This is why in peripheral artery disease, if you are resting, you don't feel any pain. But the moment you start walking or exercising, that's where the pain comes. Because now your muscles are looking for oxygen-rich blood so that it can contract with the energy and the food that the blood is supplying. But if it's no blood is coming because cholesterol is blocking the flow, then we got a problem. That is what is actually happening. Oh, and I like that somebody gave us a thumbs up. My goodness, I see the thumbs up. Thank you so much. That is what is happening. You want to add anything?
Yeah, so some people will have this pain so much so that when they are walking, they have to stop and sit because that's how much the pain, it hurts so bad. So the whole legs feel sometimes numb and crampy to the point that, as we are explaining, the cells are not getting the oxygen because the cholesterol plaques are blocking the artery. So as it blocks the artery, oxygen is not able to flow with the blood into the cells. That's why you get so tired and your leg hurts so bad because you're not receiving enough oxygen to the area.
And not receiving enough oxygen to the area. So she already went into the next point, which is the signs of peripheral artery disease or the leg pain we're talking about. The first, of course, is the pain. We have already explained that. And also achiness. You may feel achy, in your muscles, muscle aches, especially in the regions of your legs and then your arms. But most of the time in the legs. And then also cramps. So if you have leg cramps all the time and you don't know what it is, don't stay home and think like, oh, it's old age. Yeah, old age could bring some cramps. In fact, electrolyte imbalance can bring cramps too.
Yeah.
But until that is told, until you've been diagnosed, you don't stay home and diagnose yourself and say that this is what I think it is. It could be this problem we're talking about. It could be blood flow problem because your blood is not flowing to your muscles the way they should be. And for that, your muscles are suffering. And that's why they are crying. And when they cry, you get a pain. My goodness. That's how the body works, right? If something is not going right, your brain will register as a pain. And so if there's pain there, you got to get it checked out. So that is the signs of peripheral artery disease by cholesterol causing it. My goodness, who would have thought cholesterol could do that? We only think about cholesterol in heart attacks and strokes. But there we go, cholesterol coming here. And like I said, next week we'll find out how cholesterol actually make some men, troubled in the night because of erectile dysfunction. Same idea as we're talking about. All right, so with that being said, what is the next thing we're talking about here? And yeah, we also mentioned, I don't know, I think we mentioned it. We're going to talk about the site of this pain.
Yeah, so
mostly.
the pain, like we are talking about it being like so achy, and you feel the pain so much, mostly in your hip area, your thigh, and your calf. Sometimes the cramps is so much in your calf area that you can't even move or take a step when your calf is crampy, so it's so bad that you can't even function. Some people can't even fall down, or they hesitant to get up and walk because the pain is so bad in the area that they can't function very well. You can say that their quality of life is really, really reduced.
My goodness.
Because of high
My goodness. My goodness. The quality of life. That's why I heard the clap. the quality of life. When we talk about health, it's not just the absence of disease. You don't feel like you're sick. Some people, the only time they feel that they are sick is when they are in a hospital bed and they can't do anything. But if you are not in a hospital bed but you cannot walk, your quality of life is reduced. It's reduced no matter how young or how old you are. If because of peripheral artery disease, because of PAD, because of high cholesterol, my goodness, I should be quiet. Because of high cholesterol, you can't walk, you can't stand, you can't do exercise because you move 1, 2, 3, and you have to sit. Your quality of life is diminished. So much as we want to live long, we want that long life to be full of activity, being able to move around, visit family, play with the grandkids, and do all sorts of things. Not just live and be bedridden or live and you can't go anywhere.
And
no,
being so dependent on
being
people.
so dependent on people. So some people are like, oh, everybody would die, just leave me, this cholesterol thing. If you would die, we would have done long ago. They make all those excuses and just not take care of themselves because they are not thinking about the quality of life. Yes, you die, all right, but would you rather live healthy until that day, or would you want to be a dependent on somebody? Your children who have to go to school, who have to take care of their own family, because you're binging on cholesterol and the other things that cause high cholesterol, you become a burden to them. You are not going all right, but you could have made a better choice with a better outcome for that matter. So that's what we're talking about. Quality of life. I like that point that you brought up. All right. So yeah, at the hip, the thigh, and the calf. And that's not just that. These are the common areas. But it could be also even in your arms. For some people, it shows up in your arms. And for some people too, it starts off in the lower extremities, in your hip area, your calf, and your thigh. But if it's not treated, eventually you will start going to the arms too. So it's not just restricted to one area. It depends on where your deposits are the highest, the most. Again, it is a disease of blood flow due to high cholesterol. So wherever the cholesterol plaques have found a better home, that's where the muscles are going to ache the most. My goodness. All right. So now with that out of the way, we can use this picture as an explanation of the point. I think other video that I also showed also brings that point out very clearly. You want to explain a little bit of?
Yeah, I think we've used this picture before, right? So the yellow part is when the arteries are fully, the top part, that we see the yellow two joining.
Two yellow joining together.
Yeah,
yes.
That's when it's fully blocked.
As a cholesterol plaque has grown so huge that they have completely blocked the artery and the blood flow is not there at all.
It's not there at all. So like sometimes too, it's so bad that you can see your veins right in that area, and you can see the yellowish, especially if you are a little fair. You can see that happening, and that's when the oxygen cannot pass through at all. That's the severe case that you have to seek medical help. I think the one next to it to our left is more like it's almost blocked, but it's not fully blocked.
It's not fully blocked.
So oxygen can pass through all right.
Meaning the blood cells.
The blood cells and the oxygen and the food can pass through all right, but you can still feel like it's not. You are not healthy. You are almost there, getting fully blockage. So that is something. If there is something you can do about it, would be good. And the other part is when it's fully open and the oxygen, the blood is freely moving in your arteries.
Blood is fully moving and carrying the oxygen there. The other one is when it just begins, and I'm hoping that with diet, everybody will get a little bit at least, but the key is to stop it at the right time and then reverse it. It's reversible. And again, we're going to hit at the time of the shows where we only concentrate on how to reverse atherosclerosis or plaque formation in the future. But now we just want you to see the bad things that can happen as a result. So yes, so if you have these blocked arteries in your leg, definitely your muscles are going to cry for help because they can't get the oxygen-rich blood for them to use, for their metabolism, where they will contract and move around so you can move. So if you try to exert any, exercise, if you want to move your muscles, because the blood is not there to supply it with oxygen, it's going to be painful because there will be no oxygen there for the muscle cells to use to, do their metabolism, and problems will occur right there.
I think we did not mention the numbness. You feel numb
You feel
in
you feel
certain
you
area
feel
of your
numb
legs too, apart
again,
from the cramps. Yeah.
apart from the cramps, because of course your nerve cells are also all suffering.
Yeah.
Everybody is not getting oxygen, so you're going to get that, and cramps too, because your muscles start trying to squeeze and release, and the squeezes and no oxygen, no energy to release again, so cramp right there, or it will cover, or however much it will cause the pain. So that is what is happening with this disease, all because of high cholesterol. And that's the sad thing, all because of your diet or your genetic predisposition to high cholesterol that is bringing that disease. All right, so let's see if there is anything. Yeah, so what are some of the risk factors? So we're going to talk about for this disease. Risk factors. I'll start. The first one is smoking. My goodness, a lot of people don't smoke.
Oh, you think so?
Pretty much I see the society, a lot of people tend to know about the bad effects of smoking these days. Most people do, most people really do. Of course, maybe it's where I live, but in some places it may be even, it may not be as good as where I see. But yeah, smoking, wherever you are, if you smoke, you are predisposed to leg pain due to high cholesterol. I know that disease, peripheral artery disease, may sound so hard. So you are predisposed to leg pain due to high cholesterol if you smoke. That's the key. If you smoke. And there's more you want to mention there?
Yeah, so the smoking, I think some people or the younger ones are not going more with the nicotine and the cigarettes that was originally available, right? Now they are talking about vaping. That is another form of smoking that is becoming very popular, especially the younger ones. They are vaping, thinking that that is safer, but research have shown that it's not also healthy. You are making holes in your lungs, and your chance of getting this peripheral artery disease is very high if you vape. It's all part of smoking.
So part of it, yeah, it's got its own challenges. I mean, it's all foreign substances you are introducing. So however you get the nicotine in you, it's still foreign, so it can still do the damage. And the next point there is another risk factor for that is high blood pressure. The HBP, it stands for high blood pressure. If your blood pressure is not controlled, you are at risk for peripheral artery disease or leg pain due to high cholesterol. And if you remember again from our previous show, we explained how high blood pressure can injure the lining of your arteries. Once the injury has happened as a result of your blood pressure being high, what happens naturally after that injury is cholesterol migrating to the site. We call it cholesterol or LDL infiltration. And so that's just the start right there. So your smoking can start that, and so can your pressure start that. So that is two for you. And then the next one is the atherosclerosis, which is basically building up after these things have begun, after the cholesterol infiltration has begun and the plaques have begun to form. The process is what we call become hardened with calcium, white blood cells, and other inflammatory cells come in there, then it becomes hardened. This is what we call the atherosclerosis. Your arteries become narrow. So the tube, I think we should go back to that
Picture again,
that picture that
if you can.
if I can, this one. Yeah. So if this is happening in your arteries, then obviously it's going to lead to a complete slowdown of blood flow in your muscles, and that is where the pain comes from. So the yellow substance is what we call the atherosclerosis. The plaque has come, it's shiny, looking good like gold, but this is not gold, brothers. This is not money. This is danger. This is the only place that gold actually is not gold. My goodness, this is like money, but unfortunately, it is dangerous. So that is what happens with your plaques doing that in your artery.
And I think the other risk factor too is uncontrolled diabetes. You can be diabetic, but if you are able to control it, then your risk is reduced. But if you are not able to control the sugar level, it means that you have excess sugar in the bloodstream. And if there is excess sugar in the bloodstream, the chance of injuring the artery is very high. So if you injure the artery, then that uh, process will begin,
Again.
right? So the infiltration of the
LDL.
LDL will come in, and oxidation happens, and hardening, calcification, and the plaques are formed. And if the plaques are formed, your chance of blocking an artery is very high. So if you are diabetic, you have to find ways and means to control your sugar. And I think there is a test out there. People have test strips. They have machine that they test their sugar every morning. So if you realize that it's not being controlled, your chance of getting peripheral artery disease is very high. You have to talk to your doctor. You have to adjust your diet so that your diabetes is well controlled in order to reduce your risk of having PAD.
My goodness, that's well said. That's very well said. Honey, the other thing that I used to find interesting is that all of these risk factors, if you can control them, you're also protecting yourself from heart attack. You're protecting yourself from erectile dysfunction. You're protecting yourself from stroke. You're protecting yourself from any cardiovascular disease out there that we are talking about, because they work hand in hand. If you watched our show on, heart attack and stroke, this is the same process. And these are the same things that injure the lining of your arteries. So just pick one and then follow, and you'll be all set in all the areas, So yes, your blood glucose should be on point. I know it's not easy, but people are doing it. People are definitely doing it. Some people just give up because, like I said, everybody will die. So what? Forgetting that the quality of life is sometimes even more important than the length of life, So definitely watch out and make sure that you do the right things. The good thing is, if you want to do something, you always find a way. As Gifty said last time, where there's a will,
there is a
way. My goodness. So don't give up. Don't give up on your blood sugar. Don't say that I've taken all the medications out there and my sugar is still out of the woods. Well, there's another thing you can do. Just keep watching us. We're going to show you some other stuff, apart from the medications, which we will continue to ask you to take, and consult with your doctor and your pharmacist to make the adjustments necessary to get to your numbers. We would say continue to do that. You don't stop, because sometimes I hear some people saying that as for my blood pressure, I've taken all medications and it's not stopping. So no. And some people too say that, the side effects of this medication, I can't take it, and they just stop and stay home. Do you know how many other thousands of medication that can be used to treat the same thing? If one is not working, what you got to do is to go talk to your physician, your APRN, your pharmacist, whoever is near you. Talk to them. They will figure out a different one that can be used for the same thing. That is the good thing about medicines. There's 1 in 1,000 for every one disease. Even in our local places where there wasn't conventional medicines in the olden days, where people will use one medication to treat thousands of diseases, even there they will still find something else for you, right? Yeah. Let alone an advanced age like this, where people are going to the moon and Mars and all that. If your blood pressure is not being controlled for whatever reason, your atenolol, your hydrochlorothiazide is not doing the job, you don't stop and stay home. You go and get a different one. Tell them, this is not working, or this is bothering me. Change it, and they will change it for you. There are always hundreds others, if not thousands, for one disease case. Of course, we have protocols that physicians follow. Take this first. If this doesn't work, you take that. So they always want to go that route. But that's why it is there. You have to follow the route. If this is not working, you take this other one. You don't stay home and give up. And so definitely don't let the injury happen in your arteries, because the consequences are dangerous. Are dangerous. All right. And so the last one,
I think the last but one is high cholesterol.
High cholesterol itself. Again. My goodness, it's everywhere.
So, having peripheral artery disease, one of the huge things is like if your cholesterol is high, then your chance of getting this disease is also high. So, you have to find ways and means, which we are going to talk about, to reduce your high cholesterol. And reducing high cholesterol, I think we combine it together. If you really want to know, there are different kinds of cholesterol. You want to lower the LDL and increase the HDL.
You want to lower the LDLs and increase your HDL, because this is not a pretty sight. Cholesterol to take over your arteries, they don't belong there. But until you take a serious stab at it, it's gonna sneak up and cause dangerous things. All right, so
And I think the last risk factor is age.
the last risk factor is age. My
Age,
goodness,
yeah.
my goodness,
Yeah.
my goodness. So how can you reduce that risk factor?
Age. We are all aging, but the things that we do will make us beat this PAD by the things that our lifestyle, So age can be just a number if we do our things right. If our diet is good, we are exercising, we are doing all the good stuff, then age becomes a number. We won't let age beat us by saying that because we are aging, we get ourselves into having this disease. We have to do things right and we'll be able to beat the age.
My goodness, my goodness. We are overcomers. We can do it all. We can do it all. We can do it all. We can beat it all. All right. Yeah. Like she said, according to the Centers for Disease Control in the US, age over 40 all the way to 60 is the highest risk, for developing PAD. As you age, right after 40 years, and it makes sense. By 40, you have eaten a lot of your pizzas, a lot of your burgers, cholesterol is there. So if you haven't watched your diet, at that point, the accumulation of plaques in your arteries would have begun. Right? It doesn't mean that you will have to reach there to see it. Some people, by nature of their diet and their genes, because they are making excess cholesterol, they may see symptoms of this even in their 30s or even their 20s. Some people are getting heart attacks and strokes in their 30s, gone too soon. You hear those all the time, right? So, age is important, but like she said, lifestyle can renew your age. You can be 60 and somebody will look at you and say that you look 40, you look 50. It's because your lifestyle does not go with what the number said. And so in that respect, age becomes just a number. That's what we are here for you. And we're gonna explain the diets and the types of exercises that you can do so that you can look younger and feel younger than your age, so that all these diseases will not sneak up on you. I know you, as we talking, you are guessing our age. When we get to the time, we will let you guess and put it in the comment section and see if we are doing good with our lifestyle, if we look older or younger than our age, so that it's a fun thing. If you tell people your age, what do they say? Do they say you are older, you look older, or you're younger? If they say you look older, then we got to do something about your lifestyle, Yes, we got to do certain things health wise, in your lifestyle that would change your body's, aging habits and make you look and feel younger. And trust me, if you're going to follow us on this episode, this season, we are going to hit a lot of things because we are learning a lot and we're going to share with you. So keep watching, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. We're going to teach you a lot. Stuff that we think we need to know. Some of these things we are telling you is not just for you. We learn in it and then we come to share with you. So it's practical things that we want to share with you. So make sure you are subscribed for future episodes on how to beat cholesterol regardless of your age. All right. So with that being said, what is the next? So we're going to talk about how to prevent the peripheral artery disease, which will sort of mention some of the things we have already discussed. But it's good to say because I know some people will not be able to come back in later episodes to see a thorough discussion of how to overcome high cholesterol and stuff. But at least we mentioned these so that it will be complete, at least for this show. So
Okay.
to start, yeah.
Yeah, the first one is physical activity. you have to stay active. You can't stay in your couch every day and having less activity every day and hope and pray that things will fall in place.
My goodness. But you're
Yes.
praying.
No.
Oh my goodness. Prayer doesn't cut it.
No. So you have to be physically active. How can you be physically active? You work into your schedule that every day at least you are going to do 30 minutes exercise. You can do walking, you can do treadmill, you can do short exercise, you can do weight. Build into your schedule and stay active. If you are not able to stay active during maybe whilst because you're busy, you go to work, you have break, you have in between time in between your schedule, you can take your lunch time, 30 minutes to walk around the block. You can park your car. I think we say this all the time, a little further away from where you're going and take a walk. You see the
It's easier
elevator
said than
and the
done.
lift.
It's easier said than
Easier
done.
said
My
than done.
goodness.
But overall,
Yes.
just be conscious about it. Stay active. Any opportunity that you can get, just get up and do something instead of lying in your couch and hope and pray that things will fall in place.
Yes, I said it's easier said because I'm using myself as an example. Because we share these things, and when you go out, you want to live the same way you're talking. And I go
Taking
to
the stairs, right?
taking the stairs. I mean, I did good today, right?
Yeah,
But it
yeah.
was a decent at the airport when we were going downstairs. I took the stairs, and some people were using the escalator, but it was a distance, so it's not much. But at least I was,
Something.
working my knees by going down the stairs, right? And the one that I say easier said than done is when I'm going to the grocery shop. We go to our local grocery shop, and especially when it's very hot or when it's raining,
Or
you
when
want
it's
to,
cold.
or when it's cold, you want to pack clothes because you don't want to. My goodness. Oh man. Yeah, but you got to be conscious about it. You have to work it in. It has to be something that is on your mind that you want to be active. And even though we say exercise, if you are sick or you are older and you are unable to do all these exercises, being physically active also means doing the natural things you have to do, but doing it more. Like you can walk, you can't run, right? So if somebody can go on treadmill, you can walk. Well, get out and walk. Don't sit in the couch like she said all day. Or maybe you have a bad knee. So that bad knee doesn't say don't do exercise at all. It just means that knee, you have to take care of it. The other knee can do something, and your hands and your upper body can do something. So just a little bit of activity here and there, whatever you can do, doing more of it, it's even better than nothing at all. But if you are fully able young man like me, then you got to set up a schedule for exercise, no matter how busy you are. Trust me, you won't be busy when you get PAD in your legs and you can't walk and you are stuck in your chair and you have to retire from your job, even though you are only 50. Come on, man. You don't want that. So work within your schedule and make it something that is important to you. That way, you can at least get a benefit of not getting those diseases. So that is physical activity. The next one is to stop smoking if you're a smoker. I believe most of our viewers don't smoke, but if you're watching and you're smoking, today is your day of deliverance. My goodness. Yes, just try not to smoke. Social smoking, some people do because, at work, everybody smokes, or in school, in college, everybody, in their peer group, everybody smokes. They go outside and they smoke together, like we discussed in our topic on habits. We do certain habits because other people around us are doing. You got to ask yourself, yeah, if they are getting heart attacks, would you want to be also getting heart attack? And if not, then separate yourself from those activities that do not help you. So yeah, stop smoking if you are smoking. Eventually, we'll talk about how to stop smoking too, how to quit smoking. All right, and then
You control your blood pressure, right? Yeah. So if your blood pressure is high, you have to find ways and means to control it. Some people are at a point that they have to take medication. Like we've discussed already, don't stop taking your medication. Even if you have other things going for you, if you're trying to change your diet, cut off the salt and all that to control your blood pressure. Before you stop taking the blood pressure medication, you have to confirm with your doctor. You have to monitor. We have the machine that we sell out there. You have places that you can check your blood pressure. Just taking every now and then, just monitoring it, that the level of medication, the dose that you're taking is working and is well controlled, is under control. So just be intentional. Pay attention to your numbers if you have high blood pressure. And if you don't, your annuals, your way of life, your salt level, the things that you do also help maintain your blood pressure. If you don't have high blood pressure, you have to find a ways to monitor it every now and then.
My goodness. And the other thing is some people have it, but they don't know. And the reason is that they don't see their doctors as often. So if you are not sick, you don't have any knowledge of your numbers. And he said, as for me, I don't go to the doctors. Oh, yeah, I haven't been sick. Thank God you haven't been sick. But you could be sick without knowing. So the key is to verify that you don't have high blood pressure if you are not sick. And the only way to do that is to make sure that you attend your annuals, see the doctor every year at least one time, whether you are sick or not, just to make sure that they check you, check your numbers, check your cholesterol level, check your sugar level, check your blood pressure, and get those things at your fingertips. That way you can work with them and make sure that they are in the normal range. So that takes us to the next one, which is to control your blood sugar, right? Same thing. You not know until you have done blood glucose check if you are diabetic or not. Some people think that it's. I mean, my family, nobody has it. Yes, but you still need to be checked because you never know. You are living abroad. You are living a better, affluent life, and your diet style. Your diet and your lifestyle is different from what your family used to have, and so you can't just say that and stay home. Get checked and make sure that you are good. And then lastly,
Cholesterol again.
yes. Yeah, that's what we are on.
Yeah,
Cholesterol.
you
Yeah.
have to find ways and means to reduce the levels of the ones that need to be reduced and increase the levels of the ones that needs to be increased.
Right. Why do you hide and tell them which one should you increase?
Oh, so you have to lower the LDL and you have to increase the HDL.
My goodness.
And I think in the subsequent shows, we are going to share with you what you can do to increase your HDL and the things that you should do.
Watch our shows that are past and continue to watch the shows that are coming up.
And next week, we'll talk about.
So next week, why don't we do the erectile dysfunction?
Okay.
Because we already talked about cholesterol leading to heart attacks, cholesterol leading to strokes, cholesterol leading to leg pain in a disease called peripheral artery disease or PAD. So we'll probably hit cholesterol leading to erectile dysfunction and other dysfunctions, not just in men, in women too. My goodness. and then maybe after that, then we'll start talking about what to do to raise your good cholesterol, the diet you have to eat, the medications, the office visits, the questions to ask, and all the other good stuff, so that we will make sure we feel better. So I think it's a good place to end the show today. What do you think?
Yeah.
All right. In that case, beloved, we wish above all things that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.